we went to A&E because he had a really awful rash, hives almost all over his skin, and I thought it's because the penicillin. Hello, I am Kristisha. In the last episode I covered the follow-up dermatologist appointment and the swabs that we took of his cheek and his arm. The reason I'm looking down is because I'm filming this when my baby's sleeping. I keep saying this so that people know where I'm looking down for. In this episode I will be talking about my baby's skin at this point and the first A&E appointment that we had. I should start by saying that I changed my baby's formula because I was desperate. So I changed my baby's formula to a hydrolyzed formula that the dermatologist recommended. And by this point my baby was on it for about 4 or 5 weeks. She did say to give it around 6 weeks. Now when we started the transition, because I started a very slow transition to this formula, my baby's skin seemed to improve, not on his face but on his body. The back was almost clear, the stomach area was better, so I would say that maybe like 40% improved. The arms, the eczema on the arms was a bit better. It wasn't as inflamed as it was before, though those patches on his left arm were still there and they were still quite angry. No matter how much steroid I would put on those patches he had. To begin with he had 2 patches, but then it went to 3 at that point. And there were a lot of pustules almost on top of each other, and they were always angry and they started weeping as well. So they look like the cheek in a way, and the cheek by this point it was always weeping. My baby sometimes would scratch, so he was bleeding. Whenever he would take a nap or during the night I would stay with him to watch him from scratching, and I would be with him constantly at this point because I was scared that he would scratch and make it worse, because usually it would just get worse. We got the results of the swabs, and the swab that we took of his arm came back with just normal growth. There was nothing there, but the one on his cheek came back with the bacterial growth. And the dermatologist said to us, look, you can either continue using the triple action steroid, which had antibiotic in it and also antifungi cream in it, which wasn't working. So I said, hey, it's not working, give us something else. And she said, well, the next thing would be to give you an oral antibiotic for 7 days, and that should get rid of the infection on his cheek. And I said, okay, yeah, let's do that. We started the antibiotic course, and I was very hopeful. I was really hopeful. Not only that it did not get better, actually it got worse. His cheek was a lot more open, and the area almost doubled in size that was weeping. And on the second day of the antibiotic use, we went to A&E because he had a really awful rash, hives almost all over his skin, and I thought it's because the penicillin that he was on. We went there. They did say to us that it's not a reaction to his antibiotic, to continue using the antibiotic. They changed his formula because they said, well, obviously he's not responding well to this hydrolyzed formula. They gave us another hydrolyzed formula that is lactose free as well. And that pediatrician gave us an antibiotic cream for his face that we used in the beginning for 2 weeks. I keep saying to him, I was saying to him, it's not working on his skin. Actually, I don't know why. I put it on and nothing is happening. He said, no, give it another try for another week with the oral antibiotic that he's on. And we've done that. and somehow his skin got worse on his face. It was weeping. Not only that it was weeping on the original cheek, but it started weeping on the other cheek, and it was just spreading. The weepiness was just spreading, and I felt deep down that this oral antibiotic is not working. But we decided to finish it, which we did, and his skin was looking so much worse, so much worse. And it was a pain to give him the antibiotic. It was truly a pain, because we had to give him I think 4 doses in 24 hours for 7 days. He did not want to take them, not want to take the doses. It was very hard to give it to him. He was not well within himself. His skin was just getting worse. The eczema on the body was getting worse now. He was all covered. He started his eczema, so he had eczema on the face. The face was all weeping, both cheeks, and on the ears. He had eczema on the neck, chest, stomach, arms, back now, and legs. So it was almost everywhere, and some of the areas were worse than others. Like they were almost like a cluster of eczema. In the following episode, I will be talking about the next pediatrician appointment that we had, and the next A&E appointment that we had.